Hello, how are you all? Good. It's nice today, correct?
Yes.
Gladly, you guys aren't wearing suits like I am. Thank you for coming out. I want to say thank you to Sister Pat and Sister Joanne. They've always really helped us with the struggles we've been going through. This is my wife, Vanya, obviously. Thank you for standing in the heat. I know you guys got the sun and I don't. I'm sitting under the shade. But I just wanted to come out and hopefully open your minds to what's happening. I'm a U.S. citizen. I had no idea the complexity of immigration and what immigration's doing to the American citizens as well as the undocumented people in our country that work so hard to stay here. Again, my name's Brian Wilkins, and I'm a U.S. citizen. I've had the American dream for a long time. I found the perfect woman, my wife Vanya. I had bought a home in Arlington Heights, about 8 doors away from my in-laws, kind of like Everybody Loves Raymond. We were 8 doors down, so our dog would run back and forth. I had a stable job, everything a person could want. But one morning, we woke up to the American dream being crushed. Her father and brother-in-law were detained, and it made no sense to me. I was finally impacted by these laws that had been separating families for years and now are a part of my life. Because of this, I've become versed in private bills, immigration reform, legal terms, paperwork, more things than I ever wanted to see. I never wanted to go to law school, and now I feel like I've already kind of went. My legal battle really began that morning, the morning that my father-in-law and brother-in-law were imprisoned by ICE, or Immigration's Custom Enforcement, which I feel is a pretty accurate acronym. My family, or Vanya's family, came here on a C-class visa to check out America and to live the American dream. She came over with her father and is in her father's case. My brother-in-law and father-in-law were imprisoned like common criminals, and Sister Joanne and Sister Pat were able to get them their Bibles and things like that, but not before they were mocked and thrown Bibles in the wrong language or the wrong verse or the wrong... So it was a battle in prison for something that the only crime that they had committed was overstaying their visa, staying longer than they wanted to stay. They had been rooted here, spent time here, paid taxes, been upstanding citizens, never got a fake social security card, did everything right, talked to the lawyers, got the right legal advice from the lawyers or the legal advice that they had paid for, which ended up turning out to be the wrong advice. Unfortunately, the immigration laws don't care for anything but the paperwork. It only matters on how the paperwork is filed, and if it's filed correctly, and if it's within the first 30 days or the first 90 days. So unless you have a lawyer or unless you have a law degree, it's so impossible for someone who does not speak the language to understand what's going on to them. Being a U.S. citizen, one of the first questions I always get is, well, if you've been married and you've been married for 8 years, why is your wife not a citizen? And it's because she came over with her father when she was a child. And because her father's case already has a judgment, there's nothing that I can do as an American citizen to change that judgment that we've been fighting for the last 7 years. Since that morning of being woken up and really having my life changed, it's been a battle just to keep my family here, to stay out of debt, or to keep positive. We've lost my brother-in-law. He was deported back to Bulgaria, and my wife's parents' home, which was 8 doors away, got put up for auction last week. The banks won't sell it back to us because we're family. And they won't reinstate the loan because my brother-in-law is deported to Bulgaria and can't show U.S. income. It would obviously be impossible for him to prove income from the U.S. since we deported him. With a few wins that we have gotten, I've been able to kind of stay positive. With the help we've had from the Sisters of Mercy, again, thank you so much. And the help from Luis Gutierrez, Senator Roland Burris, they have all helped stay our deportations for now. But even with all these government officials and all the help that we're getting, like Xavier University, bringing these issues to light, all this help is great, but it still does nothing unless the laws aren't changed. I will not stop fighting. I will fight until my family can stay here legally and live the American dream that our nation has been made of immigrants. We are all immigrants. Show me someone who's not an immigrant, and I will show you their ancestry, away from not being from here. When a foreigner resides among us in your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner resides among you must be treated as your own native born. Love them as yourself. Leviticus 19:33-34. I've exhausted almost all my efforts. I'm doing everything I can to keep my beautiful wife and our family here. Yet I ask you for help, and I ask the media for help, and I ask anyone that wants to take one more step forward to try to help solve, cure, and change this issue, to take that step with me, and Sister Joanne, and Sister Pat, and all the other people that are marching, all the people that march down this road to fight for change. Obama preached change. We would like to see it.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
But without this change, I will be leaving America, the country that I love, the country that I want to be an entrepreneur, businessman, president. Who knows, you know? But if my wife leaves, I'm going with her. There's nothing that can keep me in America. So, I just want to say thank you. Appreciate your time, your patience, and would like to encourage everyone to take a step or a drastic step towards immigration reform. Thank you, everybody.